Hello everyone. Today we will analyze an indicator from the famous currency trader Schaff, which he developed to improve the trading signals of the popular MACD oscillator. This tool has gained wide popularity in trading circles for its ability to give accurate signals to buy, call, and put options, as well as to warn about a change in trend in a timely manner. The Schaff Trend Cycle is a good addition to the usual moving averages. It adds cyclical analysis, thanks to which the trader will be able to better understand market processes. Let's install the Schaff Trend Cycle indicator in the MetaTrader 4 terminal. This indicator and template with all settings are installed in a standard way. The link to download the archive with this indicator, as well as instructions for installing it, can be found in the description under this video. Now let's look at the operating principle and key settings of this tool. If you are a beginner, Schaff Trend Cycle will help you take the first step in determining the direction of trading. The sooner a trader recognizes the first signs of a new price impulse, the sooner, and therefore more profitably, he will buy, call, and put options. One way to do this is to use a trend indicator that can detect trends at their earliest stages. Here, a compromise between the quality of the signals generated and the speed at which they occur is very important. This compromise is precisely what the Schaff Trend Cycle binary options indicator provides, specifically designed to warn the trader of a trend change earlier than the classic MACD. This oscillator is calculated based on the MACD line, which represents the difference between two exponential moving averages, using a modified stochastic algorithm. On the screen you see Schaff Trend Cycle signals that appear much earlier than the standard MACD. For the sake of purity of the experiment, we chose the same calculation periods for both indicators. The Schaff Trend Cycle oscillator uses the intersection of its line with levels 25 and 75 as a signal to open a trade, while the MACD indicator uses the intersection of the histogram and the signal line. As we can see, Schaff Trend Cycle does a good job of identifying the minimums and maximums of trend cycles. It is perfect for identifying price waves. We would like to note that the Schaff development is especially good at identifying cycles that arise within a trend. This tool allows you to identify the end of a correction and the resumption of a trend at an early stage. It has few settings, only 3 parameters: MA short, which sets the period of the fast exponential moving average, MA long, which sets the period of the slow exponential moving average, and cycle, a correction coefficient. The Schaff Trend Cycle ranges from 0 to 100, with the level of 25 considered the threshold for call option buying zones and 75 for put option buying zones. The default settings are 23, 50, and 10. While the basement oscillator value is below 25, sales dominate the market. As soon as it exceeds this mark, it is worth thinking about reversing the trend and buying call options. At the same time, the indicator line above 75 indicates high buyer activity, which comes to naught if it is broken from top to bottom. At the same time, keep in mind that these levels are not dogma, and they can change depending on the specific financial instrument and the time frame you choose. By default, EMA is used with a calculation period of 23 and 50 candles, respectively. These values should be selected based on your own preferences, based on the moving averages you are used to. However, these parameters have proven themselves well for most instruments. The general rule is as follows. The larger the working time frame, the shorter the calculation period of the moving averages should be used, and vice versa. For example, on a weekly chart, the values 12 and 26, similar to MACD, or 8 and 13, numbers from the Fibonacci series, have proven themselves well. At the same time, for short-term trading on M15, 115 and 240 can be used as the EMA period. For the cycle coefficient, it is recommended to use half of the expected trading cycle. Before you substitute any value in this parameter field, it would be a good idea to understand what it is. According to the developer, the trading cycle is the number of candles that, on average, arise from the moment the trend impulse begins, the intersection of moving averages, until the first correction within one trend. On the screen, this interval is highlighted with vertical dotted lines. As you can see, the distance between them is 22 candles. Therefore, the optimal value of the cycle coefficient for this tool and time interval will be 22 divided by 2, 11. In general, we recommend using the Schaff Trend Cycle indicator in combination with other indicators and price action models. In them, you will be able to see successful options for combining Schaff Trend Cycle indicator with other methods of market analysis to achieve stable results. Among the disadvantages of this tool, we will note the lack of notifications, which makes working with it less comfortable. Now let's look at the rules for trading binary options using this indicator. Schaff Trend Cycle can be used in trading any financial instruments from indices and metals to cryptocurrencies. However, we do not recommend using only its signals without trend confirmation by other indicators or methods. As an example, to determine the trend, we will use two exponential moving EMA with averaging periods of 23 and 50 candles. If the value of the short moving average is higher than the long one, only call option purchases are opened. If the short is lower than the long, only put option purchases are made. These rules will act as a filter and will not allow you to make trades against the main trend or during a wide flat, when the exchange rate dynamics of our currency pair constantly changes to the opposite. So, to buy call options, you need to 1. Make sure there is an uptrend. The short EMA is higher than the long one. 2. The oscillator line has crossed level 15 from the bottom up. 3. At the opening of a new candle, we buy a call option. To buy put options, you need to 1. Make sure there is a downtrend. The short EMA is lower than the long one. 2. The oscillator line has crossed level 85 from top to bottom. 3. At the opening of a new candle, we buy a put option. We recommend setting the expiration time of transactions to 3 candles. However, this does not mean that this expiration period will work equally well with all assets. Therefore, we advise you to select the holding period of positions depending on the selected financial instrument and the results of testing on historical data. Against the backdrop of endless fluctuations in financial markets, analysis tools are becoming a necessary component of successful trading. One of them is the Schaff Trend Cycle Binary Options Indicator, which is a good alternative to MACD. With this oscillator, you can provide yourself with earlier buy signals, put and call options. Combining MACD and stochastic oscillator in one indicator increases its reliability and efficiency. If you additionally filter Schaff Trend Cycle signals using 2 moving averages, you can increase the number of profitable trades. And remember, any strategy or indicator is just a tool that you need to learn how to use correctly. Be sure to check and test the indicator on a demo account of historical data without forgetting about the rules of risk and capital management. And also choose only proven brokers, which you can find on our website in our regularly updated rating. If you liked the video, like it and subscribe to our channel. Register on our website and you will be constantly updated on the latest news from the field of binary options trading, cryptocurrency, and the Forex market. Thank you for your attention. We wish everyone good profit and safe trading. And so that you do not doubt the reliability of this indicator, we will demonstrate its work in real time and confirm that its signals do not redrawn.